Have you ever had one of those days where you feel like your best hours are just gone by lunch? Like by 2 p.m., you're just drained, unfocused, and can't get anything done? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden reason for that afternoon slump, and I'm going to give you a system to fight back.
So, get this. There's this fascinating study about parole judges. And it turns out, in the morning, when they're fresh and have had their coffee, they grant parole about 65% of the time. Okay, seems pretty reasonable, right? But what happens as the day goes on? Well, that's where things get really weird.
By late afternoon, that same approval rate absolutely plummets to less than 10%. And we're talking about the same judges, looking at the same kinds of cases, but getting wildly different results. How is that possible? So what's really happening? I mean, are the afternoon cases just that much harder? Nope. The real culprit here is an invisible force. The villain isn't a biased judge. It's a hidden enemy that is silently draining our mental energy all day long. And that enemy has a name: decision fatigue. A social psychologist named Roy Baumeister came up with it. It's the idea that your ability to make good choices literally gets worse and worse the more decisions you make. You can think of it like a phone battery, you know? You start the day at 100%, and every single choice you make, big or small, just drains a little bit of that power. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to break down the actual science of why your brain gets so tired. And then we're going to dive into a super precise protocol you can use to take back your focus and your energy. Now, if you're a solo creator, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, listen up. You are the CEO, you're the head of marketing, and you're the video editor. This makes you uniquely vulnerable because you're making hundreds of tiny decisions before you even get to your real work.
You know, the easiest way to think about this is that your brain is like a muscle, and every choice, from what to wear to hitting the snooze button to picking a video title, is a rep at the gym. This is what psychologists call ego depletion. It's this idea that you've only got a finite amount of mental gas in the tank each day.
And here is the part that will blow your mind, and this comes straight from neuroscience. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between a huge, life-changing decision and a tiny, meaningless one. Seriously. Deciding on a massive brand partnership or just choosing which t-shirt to wear, both of them light up your prefrontal cortex and both of them withdraw energy from the exact same very limited bank account. So let's be super clear. This isn't a time management problem. You can't just willpower your way through this. It's a neurobiology issue, and the only solution is to understand that biology and build a system that works with your brain, not against it. Okay, so what happens when that brain muscle is completely fried? When you're running on fumes? Well, your brain becomes what scientists call a cognitive miser. It starts trying to save energy and looks for the easiest path forward, not the best one. And this leads to two really dangerous shortcuts. Shortcut number one is you act recklessly. You make impulsive choices, like buying that expensive camera you don't really need. Shortcut number two is you just freeze. You do nothing at all. You just default to the safest, laziest option available, which for those judges was just saying no to parole. For us, it's usually endlessly scrolling social media. So how do we actually fight this? We install a system designed to eliminate decision fatigue before it even has a chance to show up. It's called the micro-leverage protocol, and it's basically 4 simple hacks to protect your most valuable asset, your creative energy. All right, first up, the nightly lock-in. Look, instead of waking up and immediately burning half your mental fuel just trying to figure out what to do, you plan your next day the night before. This lets you wake up and just execute. You just follow the script, which saves all of that peak morning energy for your actual creative work. Number 2, automate the anchors. What this means is you create fixed defaults or routines for all those small, reoccurring decisions that just eat away at your energy. By putting these little choices on autopilot, you save your brain power for the stuff that actually moves the needle. I mean, think about it. Steve Jobs and his black turtleneck, or Mark Zuckerberg and his gray t-shirt. They didn't do that to be fashion icons, trust me. They did it to eliminate one tiny, completely meaningless decision from their day. That's one less withdrawal from the cognitive bank account. So for you as a creator, this could be stuff like rotating the same 3 breakfast options, or creating a preset template for your video descriptions, or even just laying out your clothes the night before. The fewer what should I do moments you have, the sharper you're going to stay. Hack number 3 is a big one. Close the casino and batch your tasks. See, every time you randomly check your email or your YouTube analytics, you are opening a casino for your attention. And every time you switch tasks, you have to pay a mental switching tax. When you group similar decisions together, you only have to pay that tax once. So here's how this looks in the real world. Instead of checking your messages randomly all day, you handle them all in one focused 30-minute block. Instead of brainstorming a thumbnail right when you're stressed about publishing, you do all your design work in a single creative session. It's way more efficient. And our final hack is called mental parking. You know how random ideas just pop into your head all day long? Well, if you try to keep them there, they act like background apps on your phone, just draining your battery. The second an idea shows up, you have to capture it. Write it down in a dedicated list. This tells your brain, hey, I got this, and it can let go, which frees up your mental RAM. Look, you don't need to completely overhaul your entire life overnight. That's not the point. The real power here is in the compound effect of small changes. Just start with automating one small decision and then build a system that frees up your mind one choice at a time.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this really powerful idea. The goal isn't to become a robot, right? The goal is to aim all of your best decision-making energy toward the stuff that actually matters. You pre-decide all the little things, the pebbles, so that your brain is fresh and ready for the heavy lifts.
So that just leaves us with one final, very important question. What is the one small, trivial choice that you are going to automate starting tomorrow to win back your focus and save your best energy for the work that you are actually meant to do?